Hey everyone, I'm so glad you're tuning into this explainer today because we are tackling what is honestly one of the most urgent, high stakes questions in the modern workplace right now. I hear this literally all the time from engineers, founders, and managers, people who are just trying to navigate this incredible but, yeah, sometimes kind of terrifying new world of AI. The big question: will my data be used to train AI? Today is a practical guide to AI privacy tiers. We're going to break down exactly what happens to your information the second you hit enter, and more importantly, how you can actually take control of it. Okay, to really get why the stakes are so high here, just picture this real-world scenario. You've got a process engineer at an advanced battery manufacturer. They're on a super tight deadline to write a failure analysis report, right? So they turn to a popular AI chatbot to help summarize their findings. Makes sense. But to give the AI context, they paste in 3 months of electrode coding data. We are talking roll gap settings, drying temps, slurry viscosity ranges. This is highly optimized proprietary process data that took the team 2 solid years of blood, sweat, and R&D to perfect. Basically, the absolute crown jewels of their IP. So, did that proprietary data just become training material for the next version of the AI model? Look, if you felt a little knot in your stomach just thinking about that, you are definitely not alone. I want to validate that fear right now. It's not paranoia. Across pretty much every industry, AI adoption is moving incredibly fast, like way faster than the enterprise security conversations happening at the leadership level. These tools are just so powerful and intuitive that adoption happens completely organically. But suddenly, the stakes are very, very high. Section 1. Asking the right question. All right, let's dive into this and reframe how we're actually thinking about this problem. See, the immediate question most people ask when they panic is AI safe? But actually, scratch that. That's the wrong question entirely. It's way too vague. The right question, the one that actually gives you an actionable path forward, is how much control does this workflow actually need? Because AI isn't just one giant monolithic thing, right? It's a tool, and we access it in multiple ways. The focus should always be on matching the specific task you're doing to the correct deployment control. So, what do we actually mean when we say control? You'll hear IT teams throw around phrases like governance and deployment control, which, let's be real, can sound like intimidating corporate jargon. Let's bust that right now. In plain English, all this means is knowing exactly where your data goes. Who controls access to it? Can the model run securely inside your own cloud environment? And are your prompts or the generated outputs being kept by the provider? It's literally just about having visibility and authority over your own information. Section 2, the 3 AI privacy tiers. And that brings us to the core mental model of our explainer today. To answer those questions about data retention and control, we really have to look at the architecture of how we actually connect to AI. We can categorize this into 3 distinct levels. Number 1, consumer AI apps. Number 2, API access. And number 3, cloud-hosted enterprise AI. Now, each one of these tiers comes with a very different trade-off. It's a constant balancing act between convenience, privacy, and control. Understanding the difference between these 3 is absolutely crucial if your team works with any sort of proprietary data, customer info, or sensitive research. Let's build an analogy here to make this super concrete. Think of Tier 3 consumer AI apps like ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini as being basically equivalent to public cafe Wi-Fi. It is incredibly fast, it's intuitive, and it's super convenient. It's by far the easiest way to just get online and get started. And hey, if you just want to casually browse the news or read an article, public Wi-Fi is perfectly fine. But, and this is a massive but, it is absolutely not where you log into your bank account. It maximizes convenience, for sure, but it offers the lowest possible level of control. Moving up a level to Tier 2, we have API access. Think of using an API from these providers as being like firing up a virtual private network, a VPN, while you're at that coffee shop. Suddenly, you've got way more operational control and much stronger privacy guarantees. It is much better suited for doing actual, real work. That said, your data is still traveling through external infrastructure, but it's a really fantastic middle ground that balances convenience and control. It gives developers the ability to build their own custom permissions and logic around how the AI is used. Finally, we reach Tier 1, cloud-hosted enterprise AI. We're talking tools like Vertex AI or AWS Bedrock. Think of this as working completely inside your company's private, hardwired network. These deployments happen entirely within your broader, existing data architecture. That means your proprietary data stays securely locked inside your own walls. It aligns perfectly with the security controls, identity systems, and compliance processes you already have in place. It's the ultimate level of control. Section 3.
visualizing the trade-offs.
So now that we have that mental model, the public Wi-Fi, the VPN, and the private network, let's look at how these actually stack up against each other in practice. Because as we all know, every decision in engineering and business is just managing trade-offs, right? It's a sliding scale. On one end, if you want the highest ease of use with consumer apps, well, you have to accept lower privacy and data control. On the flip side, if your goal is the highest possible privacy and data control with cloud-hosted AI, you're going to have to accept a high level of infrastructure complexity. It just takes more work, more architecture, and a lot more coordination with IT to set up. There's no magic bullet here. It's all about finding the exact right fit for the job.
Section 4. Choosing your AI tier. So, how do you actually make that choice? I want you to think about your own daily workflows right now. Seriously, what kind of data are you handling before lunch? What about in the afternoon? Let's match your specific workflows to the correct tier. Looking closely at Tier 3, consumer apps, I want to be crystal clear here. These tools are not inherently dangerous. Not at all. They are amazing for learning, for non-confidential writing, ideation, lightweight research. Need help drafting a generic email? Boom, this is your tier. But they are a terrible default choice for sensitive workflows. You should never paste proprietary algorithms, customer confidential data, or manufacturing process parameters into this tier unless the provider's specific product policy explicitly guarantees your data won't be used for training.
Now for Tier 2, API access. This is usually where AI stops being just a quick chat and becomes part of a repeated internal process or a product you're actively building. It's the perfect middle ground. It's best for SaaS products, internal copilots, and secure workflow automation. When you access major models via their APIs, you generally get much stronger default guarantees. We're talking policies that flat out state they won't use your API data for model training, plus way shorter data retention windows. It gives product teams the exact flexibility they need without putting their data out there on the public Wi-Fi, so to speak.
And then, of course, we have Tier 1, Cloud-Hosted Enterprise AI. This is strictly for environments where data sensitivity is absolute, no exceptions. We're talking proprietary manufacturing workflows, export-controlled materials, highly sensitive R&D. For example, a company like Niobia.AI, which builds AI specifically for advanced manufacturing and battery R&D, they operate entirely with this mindset. For them and for their clients, data sensitivity is not just some theoretical exercise. Their experimental results and internal know-how literally cannot leave their walls. Because of that, they absolutely require the high control posture that only a private cloud deployment can provide.
Now, seeing all of this laid out, you might be thinking, well, okay, shouldn't we just always use the most secure tier for literally everything? Actually, no. In a lot of companies, all 3 tiers exist simultaneously, and that is completely normal practice. You might use consumer apps to brainstorm a quick marketing slogan, then use an API to power an internal HR search tool, and rely on cloud-hosted AI to crunch your proprietary manufacturing data. The goal isn't blanket security at the cost of all convenience. The real goal here is intentionality. You've got to intentionally match the deployment model to the actual sensitivity of the work. Which brings us to our final takeaway and the big question I really want to leave you with today. Instead of vaguely wondering, is the AI safe? I want you to look at the exact task in front of you and ask, how much privacy, control, and governance does this specific workflow actually need? Once you can answer that, you'll know exactly which tier you belong in. Be intentional, protect your sensitive data, and let's use these incredible tools responsibly. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this framework helps you navigate your own AI journey with total confidence.